Hello, it's Paul here in Nashville, Tennessee. It's February 9th, 2026, and I'm at the I Was Hungry Garden Ministry, and I'll pan around here and show you what we're working on. I've been getting asked a lot when the garden's going to start up again, and I have to break it to people that the garden's going in full swing. We have a lot of root vegetables now. We have carrots, we have turnips, we have Jerusalem artichokes, we have turmeric, and lots of goodies coming right out of the ground. And now this is the spring garden that I'm getting ready here. So what I do, I'll show you the stages. So there's some leaves in these holes, but I'll pull them out and show you. So I have a deep borehole here. It's about, and see how it's filled with water? And so that's about 2 or 3 feet deep. And then I fill them up with compost, and then I sort of pat them and put sticks on them like these. And then I plant peas in there because they're in the legume family, and they'll fix nitrogen really well. And so, and then I'll put squash or tomatoes or peppers in them. And then what you see here is it's all mulch. It's leaves. The leaves work really well for the weed suppression, and so I'm weeding the garden as we planted here in February. Isn't that pretty cool? Because you know the method I had before was I would come in and till, and then I would have to work like crazy to get it all planted before the weeds came in, and that was just really an uphill battle, and it was destroying the soil. The ground here was getting really, really hard. And so what I do is in those little boreholes, I put compost in there. I sift it over the wheelbarrow with this little screen here, and then I put it down into the holes. I'll show you one of the holes here, and this is working really well. And so what's going on there is I'm not disturbing the entire area. I'm just disturbing a small area, and I'm getting that compost in a core going all the way down through the mulch and into the hard pan, and so all the vermiculture, all the soil organisms can still come in to the core because they'd come in from the side. So this is a tool I made. You see, it's just a piece of sheet metal. It was a cover to a bee box, actually. And see how it's hollow down there? And then I put it in the hole, and I use that shovel right there just to put it in from the wheelbarrow. And then at the end, it looks like this. And I put a stick in. And now I get a lot of litter in on the leaves. I don't like that, but we're working on that. But I have a landscaping company that has to get rid of all these leaves, and so they have to pull the litter out, and it's a big problem. So it's important not to litter because it ends up in your food. So I'm gonna pause the video there. Showed you the compost here. This is wood compost, and it has a lot of Johnson grass in it like this. So we have to pull that out and throw it away. You see all the Johnson grass over there because we don't want that in the holes. That's a weed, but it's good for the compost, getting the compost going. So that's going to be really, really great. I'm really excited about that. I'll pause there and I'll take you inside and show you what we're going to be doing next. Okay, so this before I made it inside, I want to show you my maple syrup operation here. Now I don't boil it to make syrup. I drink the sap. So that's a spile. So you drill a hole upwards in the tree, and it comes down this. It's a very good plastic for eating out of. I think it's called high density polyethylene, but I'm not sure. But there's a special plastic, and then it goes into this bottle. I drill a hole here to put the hose in, and then I drill a pressure relief because there's a lot of water that comes in from the tree, and you can see it dripping in there. I'm not sure if you can see the drips come down. So it really needs a hot afternoon and a cold evening, and then this is what's going on here. Is the water is a form of antifreeze. So when you're drinking maple syrup, you're drinking concentrated antifreeze from a tree. And so, like my tractor tires are filled with antifreeze, which is beet juice. It comes out of beets. And so the beets put down a deep tap root, and that's a geothermal heating and cooling for the beet. So when that beet gets hot, it goes down in, it sends that fluid down into the ground, and it comes back up and it cools it. And when it's cold, it sends the juice down into the ground, and it comes up and heats the plant. And so that's what's going on with this huge tree. And so now we just had a big ice storm, and I lost a lot of limbs on this. But I'm going to be making mushroom logs out of that. That'll be another video. So I'm going to go inside now and show you the squash. So I'll pause it there. Again, I didn't make it inside. There's one more thing to show you. This is a cold frame. I'll show you what it looks like. And so it's a box with the glass on top is from a sliding glass door. You can get these really cheap used, and then it's tempered glass. And then I have these arms going out the back with counterweights, and so that helps to open the door really easily. And I have to chain the door closed so it doesn't, the wind doesn't open it. And I'll show you what's in here. And it's my lettuce. So I've been eating pretty good lettuce, and then I have to water it. So I'm going to take my watering can and just water it, because it needs to be watered every few days. It will get water from the air, but it's going to be really warm today. So I want to make sure to get it watered. And I've been weeding it, and it doesn't look like the greatest lettuce, but it's nice to come and eat it, and it does taste really good. It tastes better than anything, you're ever going to find in a store. It's so fresh. But as soon as we've had a really bad cold snap and a lot of ice, so I think once we get into some warmer weather, this will really take off. And you see how this closes so easily because of the counterweights on the back. So, and then I put my chain on, and then that's the cold frame. So I'll pause the video there, and we'll. Okay, so this is another garden plot here. You see how I have the electric fence for the deer, and then it's covered with leaves, and we'll start drilling holes here and putting compost down soon. And I have this all planned out. I have maybe five plots. The turmeric is over there on the corner of the house. A lot of fig trees, and we're getting ready for spring. And spring in Tennessee is like mid-February, and it's February 9th today, I think. So we'll head in now. Okay, this is the auger that I use to make the holes. So you see, it's probably 2 feet from here to there, and then this is a Ryobi 40-volt auger. And it does a great job. It's not too hard on the back. You have to use your knees a lot. But that's how I'm making all the holes. And so you might find that helpful. So we're going to go to the kitchen in a bit to make a meal. I'm going to make some sushi roll-ups, which are made out of hummus that I grow. I grow chickpeas. I sprout them. And lentils. And I make a hummus out of that. And I'll show you that in a little while. But this is one of the ingredients. It's butternut squash. So I have crates and crates of these things, and we distribute them to the poor and the sick, but we also keep them over the winter. You can see how many they are and how beautiful they are. And so what we do is we take the best ones, the ones that make it through the winter, in storage, which here we're in my basement, and we save the seeds from those, and then we use them in the spring, like around late April. We'll plant those, and so I always take the best fruits, and they are fruit. They're not a vegetable because they have a flower, and so I take the best fruits, and I save the seeds. And so this is my seed drying operation. That's my daddy there. He's smiling over the staircase, over the seeds. I miss him a lot, and he used to help me with the garden. But see, I dry them on these little plastic trays, and here they are. They're drying really well. I have sweet pepper seeds here and over there. So whenever I get a sweet pepper, no matter where I get it from, I save the seeds. and then I plant them in the spring also. So a lot going on here with saving seeds and the squash and everything. But I'm going to go to the kitchen now, and we're going to make some roll-ups. Okay, we're in the kitchen, and I'm going to make some roll-ups, and I make them with this this nori sheets, and then I have some rice paper. There's two kinds of rice paper. There's right here, there's white rice, and then brown rice over here, rice paper. And so, and these are some of the ingredients. So these are carrots that I cut up from the garden. This is a turnip that I cut up from the garden. And the turnips are very sweet in the winter because of that antifreeze I was telling you about. They need sugar to go down to keep the plant warm in the winter. And then this is some butternut squash. This is one of the fruits that I cut up. And I'm going to save the seeds from this. And then these are broccoli sprouts that I grow in my kitchen. And they're going to go in the roll-ups. And then in the, oh, and there's ghost pepper here. So my friend Greg, he grows ghost pepper, and this stuff is insanely hot, but very delicious. But you can only use a little bit. You can see the little bit that I used right there, that little red spot. And so I grow the chickpeas in a bottle, and then I grow the lentils, and I use both of these to make hummus. You can make hummus out of lentils and chickpeas, I found out, because someone left me a bunch of lentils, and they were already sprouted. I had to use them up. So I've been using them for the chickpeas. I mean, for the lentils in place, I mean, for the hummus in place of chickpeas. And so I've got in here, I've got some dates in the bottom, and I've got some black pepper, and I'm going to put this turmeric that I grow in the garden. It's the first year growing turmeric, and I'm hoping it's going to overwinter. And then in there, I'm also going to put this wild garlic, which just grows wild in my field. And so there's some dangers associated with this if you pick the wrong plant. So you gotta figure that out. But I'm going to grind up the roots and the bulbs and put them in the hummus. And then I'll come back when we've got some hummus and we're ready to roll some stuff up. And so that'll be fun, and stay tuned. Okay, I blended up the hummus, and here you can see it. And you have to, I use the maple water for that, by the way, because you have to put a liquid in with it. And so I blended that up, and see how it's a little too watery? So that would not be good in the sushi roll-up. So what I do is I take a coffee grinder, and I grind up some flax seeds. So these are golden flax seeds, and they're really good for omega 6s or 3s. I can't remember, the good fat. So I ground that up, and then I'm going to mix them together, just stir it in. And so I've got a dry ingredient to go with all the wet ingredients, and so that's how you get it out of the, so I'll put it in a mason jar, and then I'll put the dry ingredients and stir it together. And I'll also put some licorice powder in there, right there. That gives it a really good flavor, and that's an adaptogenic herb. So, and this is how you buy it. It looks, oh, that's ashwagandha. That's also a good thing to use too. I might get some advice from my wife about what to use there. So we'll pause the video there, and then we'll be ready for roll-ups here in a minute. Okay, so here we are with the roll-up. I have the hummus. I put some licorice powder in. I put some the dried flax, and I put the ashwagandha in just to make it healthy. And then so this is the roll-up here. I take the paper, and I wet the end, and I put the hummus there. I put some carrots, some turnips, and some squash there, and these alfalfa and broccoli sprouts. And now I'm going to roll it up, and I'll show you what that looks like in a sec. Okay, so one thing I forgot to say on the nori sheets, you put the shiny side down, and then you put the lines this way. And then when you wet the ends, it sort of turns to glue. And then this is the roll up here. And so what I do is I put some parchment paper here, and then I'll put several layers of these, and I put the cover on. These are just, this thing's about 5 years old, but I keep it reasonably clean. And but it's good for putting things in the fridge. You can use Tupperware, I suppose. But and I'll put maybe 4 layers of these, and I'll have food for the week, and it'll be really healthy because all the ingredients here are just most of them are from the garden. Everything except the flax, I think, is from the garden, and the even the water is from a tree, and the turmeric and the wild garlic and the carrots, the turnips, and the squash, and these alfalfa sprouts are easy to grow. This is how you grow them. You just soak them and rinse them, and they're unbelievable. And so the idea here is to get a lot of nutrition, because we run faster and we jump higher when we get a lot of nutrition, and so that's encouraging. And so I hope you'll try to make this, or come over to my house and help me make them. And it's a great time. Usually I'm out here with somebody, my granddaughter or somebody wants to help. But oh, the black pepper goes with the turmeric. So in the hummus, you put the turmeric and the black pepper. I ground some black pepper in there because there's something about that. It's synergistic. But yeah, so send me any questions, or let me know if you have any questions. And so the answer to the question, when do you start the garden, is we started the garden, it goes 12 months a year, because God is a faithful God. And he gives us food 12 months of the year, not just 1 month. And in the cold months, like January in Tennessee, it's really, really cold. But we have all the root vegetables, and the trees are moving a lot of sap. And so you can have an abundant supply of food even in January. And so I say that to all the volunteers, because we're working in the garden in January, but none of the volunteers really seem to notice that. But all these wonderful fruits and vegetables are grown in the winter. Like in December, we're transplanting the fruit trees and getting them all ready. That's a December project. So all the figs and all the mulberries and all these trees that we get the wonderful fruit from, the jujube is another one, they're being transplanted in December. When things go dormant, that's when we like to grow fruit trees. So yeah, there's just a tremendous amount going on all year round in a garden. You can be as busy in it as you want. I mean, the idea is to stay pleasantly busy and not to be stressed out. I mean, the garden's a very peaceful place, and but we'll, I'm looking forward to the spring. But I'm really looking forward to it because I'm not going to be doing a lot of weeding, because we're doing all that mulching. But feel free to ask any questions. We have the garden group here in Nashville Saturdays at 9 a.m. every Saturday, 12 months a year. And love to have you join us. Try some of the food, take it home. We have a lot of sick people that come to the garden, a lot of cancer patients, because their doctors say they have to be on a nutrient-dense diet. And then we have a lot of poor people. We take it to the branch ministry. Most of the food goes there, and we'll be taking a lot more squash there. And they'll be very happy to get fresh food in the middle of winter. In late February, a lot of those squash will be delivered to the branch ministry and to other ministries. And then, there are a lot of athletes that like to eat this food because it's very performance enhancing. Just a second. And so my buddy Joel's here, and we're gonna we have a flower ministry that sort of goes along with this, and so we're going to be making the boxes for those, and so we'll do another video of that. So thank you for watching. Bye bye.